You are listening to the Level Up Your Gaming Podcast, episode 38, Telling a Mystery. Today we talk about telling a mystery-focused game. We discuss how to leave clues for your players and how to guide them to the answers of your mystery. We also discuss how to add social evidence and how to incorporate all your players into solving the mystery. If you'd like to participate in the discussion or leave us feedback, you can contact us at levelupyourgamingpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. If you like the content and want to hear more of the show, subscribing will ensure you don't miss an episode. New episodes come out almost every Wednesday. Also, please review, tell a friend about the podcast, or share with your gaming group. Now sit back and enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Level Up Your Gaming Podcast. My name is Aaron, and joining me in person for the first time in a very long time, Sherlock Holmes doesn't have anything on him, Jared.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Jared? It's really good to see you in person again.
Great to see you in person.
I mean, you've been flying all over the place. You're like Batman, sort of.
Well, flights, and then, you got to go fishing. You got to go on a great fishing trip lately.
Yes, we did catch up about that before the episode. I was in Arkansas
and then
for
there's
that.
COVID.
Well, COVID's COVID. I mean, what are you going to do about it?
So here we go. So just for our listeners, Aaron told me not to, we have a new mic setup, and I'm hoping Aaron will tell a little bit about the new mic setup.
Oh, yeah. If you're hearing this and we sound even better than we have in previous episodes, it's because we've really leveled up our rig. Okay.
Aaron's being humble. He leveled up our rig.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of new stuff. I bought a bunch of new toys. They look great. They look awesome. And I hope they sound good because I think that they're really cool.
I think they're fantastic, but Aaron told me with this new sound stuff, he's like, hey, when you sip your coffee, could you?
I was like, could you just get away from the mic, just in case?
I'm just like, no,
because otherwise I'm going to be like, we're going to have some crickets coming in here.
Yeah, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is now what I am. It's like any opportunity, let's go for it. So, but yeah, what's the topic for this week?
The topic this week is we're going to talk about a game style that's pretty near and dear to us right now. We're going to tell you how to tell a mystery game.
Ooh, I think we have a sound effect for that, don't we? There's one that's kind of mystery. That was a failure on your part.
That was a failure on my part. I think it's this one.
Yes, there we go.
All righty.
There we go. The mystery. All right, so mysteries. You want to tell a mystery. And first off, I want to say awesome. I think mystery games bring a lot to the table. I think a lot of people don't even know they're telling mystery stories when they really are. There's a lot of people who think I'm doing an adventure. And it's actually, this is a mystery. When you're tracking down the lost globe of Osiris. Yeah, see, I can throw out cool names when they're not fantasy.
When they're not fantasy, when they're things from ancient Egypt.
That is not an object from ancient Egypt, although Osiris was ancient Egyptian mythology. He had no globe, because most of the world wasn't known. Just saying.
The ancient disc of Osiris.
The ancient disc of Osiris. So, so if you're going to find a lost object, that in itself is a little mystery. It's a tiny little mystery. It's not a complex or robust one, but it is a mystery nonetheless. So the first part to a mystery. So for example, you might say, what kind of mystery do I want to tell? Now, most people, when they hear mystery, the first thing that you think is murder.
Yes, I think most people would think that murder mystery. It's a very common.
It's come on, Sherlock Holmes. It was almost always a mystery. It was always a murder or thievery. So really, when you're telling a mystery, understand there are a lot of mysteries in this world that play off of a more mundane aspect of our lives. So, for example, as most of our listeners know, our game revolves currently around PIs, private investigators. Where does my wife go every night at midnight on Thursdays? And then it leads into a deeper mystery. Why does someone do something? All these things, looking into behavior, as long as you have a person who's curious and a behavior that can be looked into, there are so many mysteries. Some of them are brief and small. Some of them don't make the caliber of a mystery, really. But some of them, they dive deeper. So, for example, I want to share one of my mysteries with everyone. I was planning on using this in our first set of games. The investigators were going to be called to look into a wife infidelity case. I think my wife's cheating on me. So, of course, they were going to be like, all right, where's Jared's supernatural hook?
Yeah.
So the wife, it was going to turn out, as they were following her, she would be meeting with men, but not in the way that you'd think. She was meeting and handing things off. And then, of course, knowing my team, they're going to be just, I need to go further. Like
we're giddy about the mystery. That was kind of the whole jazz with the investigators themselves. Yeah. It is the story in and of itself. This is almost actually the quintessential story piece for somebody who loves story. Okay, what is your story? What is the hook? What is the gotcha behind this? What is the climax to the story? How do we get there? Why are these people doing what is their motivation for it? Why is your villain motivated to do what he does? What secrets are held in the Orb of Osiris? Why does this person not want me to ask questions about it?
Precisely, and it's these hooks. They're minor hooks that keep the players engaged throughout a mystery. You just need to time them correctly. But I will get into that. Timing correct hooks. For example, at the end of a game is a perfect time, because then your players are out there just talking about it while you're packing up all the stuff. They're talking about it while you're cleaning dishes. They're talking about it,
and that's the moment when you sit back and you just kind of put your fingers together and you're just like, yes,
this is the life.
Perfect. You're doing the evil Mr. Burns, fingers together.
Excellent. So, excuse me. So the one of the things in the mystery was they were going to find out that this woman was a former KGB sleeper that the Russians were going to trying to reactivate. And, she had fallen in love with her husband. She wants to stay in the United States, even though she was told to marry him as part of a KGB mission, because he was going to be like a wealthy technology guy, because when you're friends with the CEO, you can get access to certain codes. But that's beside the point. Wow, I really went off the train on that one. So the in that, what that mystery was it turned the mundane into the super adventure, because obviously KGB is not going to be just taken down with, please hold your hands in the air, you're under arrest. They're not going to. That's not going to be them. They're going to tell you to get down on the ground. They're going to pull their guns.
And KGB, get down on the ground.
KGB, get down on the ground. Where are your papers? So the with the quintessential mystery, but I guess I kind of took the train off the track. First, you got to look at the type of mystery. So are you going to do a murder mystery? And I encourage people, if they're looking into mysteries, for your first couple, murder and thievery is very standard, and it's a nice way to build your foundation and get used to mystery. Then after that, start looking into other mysteries. A neighbor is wondering why, this person walks their dog at 1 o'clock in the morning every morning. Perhaps it's the neighbor of the characters. A good hunter game could start off with, my neighbor does this all the time. Why does he walk the dog at midnight? And all you got to do is establish a hook. So the first thing that I do when I'm creating a mystery is I create the point of impact first. So I do what's in teaching, it's called backwards design methodology. I create the murder first, and then I step it back to how it happened. I don't start from the beginning and write to the end. I write from the start at the end, and I write to the beginning. So that's one of the key points, because here's the murder. Here's how it happened. Okay, how did he get through the door? And I start problem solving backwards. So let's say it's a murder mystery inside of an apartment, right? The apartment is locked. Okay, this is one of the first things that police will do when they walk into or when they investigate a murder. If the door is locked, one of their first assumptions is the victim knew their murderer, because they felt comfortable enough to lock the door behind that person's entry. So I go, okay, I want to make sure, I want the mystery to have the door locked, but I want this guy to have snuck in through a window. Okay, cool. Now I go to my window thing. Okay, how does he get the window open? Does she leave the window unlocked? Yeah, she's one of those people who's like, I live on the second floor. There's no way that somebody could get up here. Okay, so the window is unlocked. All right, so he would have had to know the window is unlocked. How does he know that? Oh, he's been stalking her. He's been watching her for months. Oh, yeah, I'm creepy up in this mic. Sorry, I apologize. Okay, so he's been watching her, so I've established that. I'm going to leave that as a side burner for a second, because how the heck does it get up to a second floor window? Well,
Use the ladder.
did he use a ladder? I mean, it's kind of conspicuous.
Did he scale the wall?
Did he scale the wall? Did he go up to the roof and rappel down? How cool would that be for a murder mystery? You know? So, okay, he rappelled down from the roof. So now I know that he had to get access to the roof. How did he get access to the roof?
He moonlights as the janitor.
Boom. Great mystery right there. Moonlights as the janitor. So in this, after I've established this long link, the main thing that you need to remember is you need to leave clues. And there needs to be multiple ways to those clues. So for this one, I might have made sure that there was some fiber to find. Maybe he left the rope hanging. And, you know, the police just didn't look outside a dimly lit window for some odd reason.
Yes, understand that no crime is perfect.
None. There is no perfect crime.
There's no perfect crime. Even if you do not possess enough evidence to find on the scene. So no matter what scene that you have, and Jared, we've talked about this before. Any mystery you create, make it 2 steps stupider.
This is my number one rule. Whatever devious plot that you have come up with, it's actually my number 2 because I've come up with a new one.
Oh, you did?
My new number 1. The objective is the murderer gets caught. Okay? The objective is the player wins. Because one time I created this whole mystery. I'm like, devious and multi-layered and glorious. And I looked and I was like, holy shit, this was perfect. Like, this was a perfect murder.
He'll never be caught.
He'll never be caught.
Sherlock Holmes couldn't find this.
No, because he wore gloves and he was trained as special forces, so he knew all this crap, and he worked in the CIA. There are murders that go unsolved. There are hundreds of thousands of murders that go, not I don't know about hundreds of thousands, but there are many murders that go unsolved. I think like the current rate is like around 50% of murders don't actually get solved.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to, I mean, if you look at like actual murder statistics and problems, is that the key is making sure that your players have access early. Meaning, because anybody who's smart as a murderer will start covering their tracks. And once evidence starts getting destroyed, it becomes much harder to solve the murder. Okay, so again, Jared always says make the murder make your mystery 2 steps
stupider.
Okay, this isn't just true for a murder. This is true for what is the purpose of the Orb of Osiris. Okay, what is the purpose of the Ankh of Set? Okay,
we're going Egyptian.
Yeah, we're going Egyptian today. Okay, so why are we collecting all these bizarre Egyptian artifacts? Okay, make it simple. Okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, and we talked about it, when your players lose their way, your players are going to look like monkeys bashing rocks together.
They are. They're like, honestly, I made the joke that maybe he left the rope hanging from the window and the cops didn't see it. Yeah, you will have players who will search the whole thing and they will never go into the bedroom. And you'll be like, how could you not go into the bedroom? Go into the bedroom. Please. You might have to make that rope tap against the glass to get one of your players into the room. Be prepared for that. How am I going to help my players find each clue? If there was a neighbor who saw the person make entry, have that neighbor... your players might be smart enough to, like, every time, like, the one thing that I can depend on Brian and Aaron to do is stake out.
Oh, we've stopped staking out as much as we
you
used to.
have, but I know you are ready to do it at any moment.
In a heartbeat, we will go right back to that old trope. We'll just stake out. We'll have Funyuns in the car.
Funyuns, coffee, and good conversation. And like in previous games, they have staked out so many times that I anticipate the stakeout, and I literally build mysteries to make sure that a simple stakeout cannot solve this thing.
No, it can't, but it's designed to give you clues. Again, so we're going to have a future episode topic on this, on how you get your players to do what you want versus, beating them with a stick and making them go the way that you want them to go. Okay? Jared talked about it last time about the illusion of choice. Okay?
The illusion of choice.
You essentially want to give them a bunch of ways to do this, but every way that you are giving them is the illusion of choice, meaning that the clues are clear enough that, like, if you find a ladle and a chef's hat, you're not going to go, it was Robin from Batman and Robin.
Could be the Condiment King.
Yes, you're gonna be like, well, they were at a ball the other day. It's got to be the chef.
Exactly.
Like, you're trying to get them to go the way you want them to go.
It's so easy to lose track of that, and that's why Aaron and I are making such a big deal of it. Because I have made at least 2 or 3 mysteries where I was like, fuck, they'll never figure this out.
Yes, if your player can't figure it out, one, you should be doing 2 things right away. You should, one, say, is this too complicated? Okay? If it's not too complicated, have I given the appropriate clues to go with it? Because what you don't want to have happen is... We've talked about win conditions and failure conditions. The failure condition obviously would be to give up on the mystery and quit. Okay? Yeah. And your players might do that, or they might just never find the clue. If you have an obscure clue in one way of doing this, the likelihood that your players are going to succeed is so small. And
please, listeners, trust us. It takes... so this is an actual term, an orgy of evidence. Generally leads cops to believe that somebody has been framed when there's just too much evidence. It's too good. It's too perfect.
Yes.
So the one thing, though, is for your characters, for your players, they'll typically need that orgy of evidence before they will initiate, we're going after the bad guy. Because remember, unless you're playing cops, if you're playing medieval... knights, if you're sci-fi, it's probably going to come down to guns. They know in the back of their head that this is probably going to end in a shootout. So we better be dang sure we're shooting the right guy.
Yes, unless you have very uncautious players, you have like players who are doing the murder hobo thing. I mean,
murder hobo, it's a thing in D&D.
I know.
Like, there are so many memes about it.
I know.
Like, is that
that is a thing. That is a trope.
Why?
I think it comes, again, unrelated. I think it comes down to disinterest in the game for the most part.
Well played. Well played, yes. Yes, that would.
At least that's how I've heard it described before as to why players would probably do it. But, again, your players are going, assuming your players are at least cautious, okay, or careful about their choices, and that maybe this is something that they've picked up on you because your DMing style, your master of ceremony style, you are actively you make the choice really, really real. Maybe your consequences are really bad if they make the wrong choice, and so your players are super cautious about it. If you want them to make a choice, then you better give them the orgy of evidence that
it better be there.
This is what they need to do. Okay,
it better be. We found the chef's hat, the ladle, his fingerprints, a picture of him with the victim from 33 seconds before the murder.
It doesn't need to be that apparent.
No,
but, you get it though. I mean, you understand. It's just got to be clear.
So the evidence has to be there, and it has to connect and link. Now, to create a longer mystery, what I will do is I will make sure that evidence links to evidence, and that they have to go to certain people for that. But just like any other trail or just like any other story, I have to make sure that there's a strong link. You have to make sure it's 2 steps stupider. If it's the chef's hat, the ladle, they better know who, that the ball, what company the ball hired last night, or who would have hired the company who,
Or if you want to go back into our social scenario, they better be able to have somebody who can talk to somebody to be able to find out who was the chef's group.
And this is we're getting into my now favorite, what I really want to talk about, mysteries. So the thing is when we were younger, of course we had mysteries. Yeah.
Yes.
But I would say those mysteries were undeveloped because they were all evidence led. Okay, I have this evidence, that I have the chef's hat, the ladle, the photograph, and the fingerprint. It wasn't until we got older that we started making the mystery about people. And here's my favorite thing nowadays, is people lie. They lie like rugs. Yes. People lie, and they lie for different reasons. They lie because they don't want to shame the dead. They lie because they are politically connected. They lie because they don't want to ruin their marriage. There are about 999 billion reasons why people lie during investigations. They lie to cops. Think about it. It happens all the time. And
think about the last time you went to your doctor. You probably lied about, are you eating carbs? No.
No. How'd you gain 5 pounds?
Are you mainlining sugar? No.
My doctor, I don't lie to her anymore. I don't. I look her right in the face and be like, if I had the time to eat right and live healthy, I would. But
sorry, I cut you off there on the lying.
No. But it's good because the thing is you need to make sure in your system, if you are going to start introducing social evidence, witness statements, you need to start adding people who would know something about the chef and the inter-kitchen rivalry that is going on. Aaron is smiling because one time I went way too far in a game and in development of a game and really created an inter-kitchen rivalry that
we never touched.
Never touched. And so that was wasted development time. You need to make sure that there's a good system for spotting lies and detecting lies. So if your system doesn't have one readily available, like I'm not even quite sure what in D&D would be used to detect a lie.
In D&D, they've got an investigation skill or a perception skill, so you could probably use both.
Like a spot check?
Yeah, you would just say, I need an is this person lying? You might say, give me a perception roll. Okay. Perception, wisdom, or perception, charisma. You have different stats that you can roll it against.
Okay. So in this, you need to make sure that the lie detection is there. And here's the great thing about detecting lies. You don't have to tell you, and I'm about to spread an infectious thing that, trust me, your players will hate.
Oh, I hated this so much. And I did it right back to you.
And
you
it sucks. It sucks. So when someone does a detection for a lie, so they say, what color was the car? And the person doesn't want to say that, it was a red car because they own a red car. That's the reason they're lying. It's something very stupid, but they're going to do it. When they roll, you just respond with, you detect no lie. It's awful because what does that mean? Did I get the truth? I don't know. Maybe you did.
My advice would be for a really good roll, just tell them that they're not lying. Okay.
If you want to be a nice GM.
If you want to be a nice GM. Jared did this in the red light game.
That's when it started.
Yeah, he did you detect no lie. Believe me when I tell you that made the game, again, it lengthened the game significantly because we're comparing now those questions against other people. So we're really actually using the evidence that he's presented to us in a social situation to try and cross-reference things. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, if your game's not super tight, okay,
it won't work.
It doesn't work really well because if your players will start to notice the inconsistencies, and they're gonna, if you put them down the wrong track, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So so be careful with it there. But if you're pretty spot on with it,
if your cake is done, baked, frosted, and then you're going into this, go for it. If you've got a really nice looking cake and you've got the extra time to do this kind of stuff, go for it. So when looking into the lie detection, it's really key to make sure that the information that they do provide, when they are truthful, has to be good information. because you can give them red herrings, which will take them in the wrong path. So the person says, and they legitimately believe the car was green. So this will send them off in a different direction. You are purposely misleading your players. You need to make sure that there's counter evidence, just like Aaron just said. So there is someone who's going to say, no, the car was red. And then there's another person who says the car was red. Because if you just got red versus green, you just screwed over your players a little bit, because they're like, well, one person did say green and it was the truth, and one person said red and it was the truth. They need to be able to verify and go back to that person and be like, are you sure it was green? And they're going to be like, looked green. It was dark outside. You know,
Yes.
You need to be able to confirm witness accounts from other witnesses. So you need to have those witnesses prepared and ready.
Yes.
If you don't, you just told your players two contradicting things, unless you know that the color of the car really doesn't matter.
Yeah, if the color of the car doesn't matter, then it's a fun little mystery and a fun little thing to get your players to go down the path. So one of the things that I like to do when I tell a mystery is I like to produce contradictory evidence to put you down the path of it probably is this person, but it could also be this person. It's the red herrings that Jared speaks of there. And be careful with them, because you don't want to derail your players so bad that they go, way, way deep on it. Okay. I like to call it layers of the red herring, which is, if you want to have them go sidetracked on something, have it be like one layer deep. By the time they pursue the clue or the social clue, that person will refute the thing so clearly that it will be abundantly obvious that continuing down this path is unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, if you want them to keep going deeper, maybe it's like a side mystery in terms of the other mystery.
That'd be great. I mean, if you want to do like a side mystery, side quest sort of thing, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so if you want to like produce a side quest, like, maybe if my players decide to go down this route, they will discover the the tome of Ra. Okay, and
we are really going Egyptian today.
We are. I'm trying to stay thematic with it.
Well done.
Thank you. And the tome of Ra has information about all the other objects that you're trying to collect, like the orb of Osiris and the Ankh of Set. And
Scythe of Anubis.
And the Staff of Ramses. I mean, like these are...
We went from gods to pharaohs?
I think they were viewed as gods, weren't they?
They were gods. They were gods on earth. You are correct there.
Yes.
Well done. Well played. How about we go with the, what was it? The Staff of Ramses?
Staff of Ramses.
Staff of Pepe.
Okay, thank you.
There we go. There's another Egyptian god.
Cool. So yeah. So I mean, maybe by pursuing that sideline, you do find a book that gives you the list of all the items.
Yes.
Okay. And it helps you solve the bigger mystery, or maybe it's just a fun little thing that you put on the other side. I would typically say if you're going to have them find a side mystery, have it link back into the real mystery. It helps flesh out the big mystery better. It helps give some levity to it. It also makes it feel important that you did all those things.
It makes it feel big.
Yes. If you are going to bring them down the path to do nothing, then that is really just truly a red herring, and you just made your players do a bunch of stuff. If there is no gain to it, then why drag your players through that entire rigmarole?
Yeah. I mean, if there's no gain, again, because when Aaron and I say gain, don't forget it's gain to the players. I mean, are they at least going to get an emotional response out of it? If it is literally leading to just like, oh, we went the wrong way, that's lame. Don't do it. Don't do it. But if it leads them at least to a good, solid fight with 50 ninjas, well, let's use, 50 magi, because that's Egyptian.
Yes.
Okay, so like 50 magi. Then, hey, at least we got a combat out of it. Our storyteller let us down here so we could get that combat, but you need that little link. You have to have it. If it doesn't give some like, awesome, we won the day. We ended up getting, a hammer of, damn it. I'm out of Egyptian gods.
So am I. Damn it.
Horus.
Horus, thank you. Yeah,
Hammer of Horus.
Hammer of Horus. Of course. It's staring us right in the face.
Right in the face. And then you're, okay, we've got a hammer of Horus. Now, it's not one of the objects we're looking for, but it can break down any door. That's pretty awesome. Your players have to have an emotional gain from it, whether or not that be happiness, is what you're aiming for.
Yeah. Again, anytime that your players decide to go do something that you're going to invest the time of doing the side quest, make sure that you get something out of it. Jared said, the Hammer of Horus, if you're playing in a D&D game, make sure maybe they get a magical item of some sort. Roll a random magical item. There's a lot of different ways that you can give your players something for it. And if you want to tie it back into your main story, and this is when players are going to go like, how did he think of this? This is insane.
My God. It was he thinks 70 steps ahead of us.
Yes, and it's going to be like, what? Oh, now I got the Book of Ra, the Tome of Ra, and it tells me about the Hammer of Horus, and it tells me about the Sphere of the Ankh of Svet, and it's going to tell me
about Svet. Svet?
Set.
Ankh of Svet.
And I need all these items now to unlock the Riddle of the Sphinx. So, it's just,
Damn, well done. Riddle of the Sphinx. Kaboom.
But the players are going to feel super jazzed about all that.
They are. They're going to get such a lift.
Especially if they worked all their way through that. And just think about it. Again, your story might be like, man, they're totally off the rails. They've got 18 more hours to figure out this mystery. Well, this could be the shortcut or the way that they wanted to take the mystery. It gives them the sense of agency without necessarily giving them the agency. But they did choose that path.
They did choose that path. And if they had choose to gone another path, so be it. That's the thing about a mystery is you need to have so many different ways to get to the end. You have to. You can't have one way to get to the end because my thing is nobody thinks like you. Nobody
thinks like you. Nobody will ever think just like you.
You could, my wife of 27 years thinks just like I do. No, she doesn't.
No, she probably knows how you think, and thus she is good at picking up on what you're trying to do.
Like I know Aaron and Brian, if I give them a mystery door, they will go for it. It doesn't matter if all I have to say is the door is mysteriously, as long as it's different from the others. This one doesn't have a number. They're going in.
We could be an inn full of red doors, and one could have a yellow door, and we'd be like, something's behind that door.
We gotta find that out. It's amazing. They have a thing. I'm sorry, dude. You do.
I'll give you other examples. In our werewolf game, Elders, okay, you had a situation going on where you had ambulances coming by. Okay, I was much younger at the time, so don't judge me for this, but I went and chased those ambulances. I thought there was something going on with those ambulances.
And there was. Because that was the initial plague. That was the start of the plague.
Boxes.
No bags.
No bags.
Or no bags.
No boxes.
So mysteries are very important to make sure you've got your clues laid out. You make sure those clues are easy to find. You make sure that everything is 2 steps stupider. You need to make sure all these things are in place. Now, there is another thing that needs to be in place. Mysteries are fantastic games of the mind. Okay? Do not forget your Basher of Skulls, the Crusher of Dreams, Warlord Tahugan, your Orc, who just loves to beat the ever-living piss out of things. You can't forget about him. So just like we've said in other podcasts, you need to make sure that you've got that one solid combat, every 1 to 2 game sessions.
Jared actually has a rule, even in a more social game, more mental game, is that he always puts in a conflict every session.
It has to be at least some sort of conflict. It can't be like, a conflict of this person said a snide quip to you. No, it's got to be a conflict.
It's got to be either you're getting close to throwing down with blows or it comes to blows and it's quick.
Yeah, it's got to be at least something. And it doesn't take much to start a fight. It really doesn't. Especially in the world of imagination and role-playing where no one really actually gets hurt. If someone gives one of your players to Thugan, the Crusher of Skulls and Drinker of Dreams, a good solid shove because he's an orc, and this guy's a hero trying to make his bones, there you go. You got conflict. Kaboom.
I think that's always a good point there. if you sate your warrior, if you sate your very physical player just a little bit, giving him that little like thing where he can beat some skulls, do something in the game.
Simple.
You actually can keep him on track with what everybody else is doing in a mystery game. Where if the mystery does not involve fighting, it keeps him satisfied that he's doing his part with the group.
I also like the things have to break methodology. So if they're investigating a house, there's a door that has no key. We tried shoulder ramming it. Doesn't work. Tried really shoulder ramming it. Doesn't work. All right, call to Thugan, the Crusher of Skulls and Drinker of Dreams, and he gets to knock down a door. Trust me, it's something with gamers who are very attached to combats. They just need to break something. Like, just give me a door, a window to shatter, a fire, where I can break down the main support and bring the whole building down, I guess. I don't know, but, you know.
We're actually going to have a podcast on this, which is giving your players the spotlight and how to do that. And this is a really good example of how to do it. We should do that one soon. We should do that one soon.
I think like the next one we should
probably.
I don't know. Might be a good idea.
The other thing that I want to suggest is if you are going to do a mystery, a flowchart is always a great idea with a mystery. It helps you visualize how your evidence has been laid out for the mystery to work. Meaning, if I talk to Old Man Withers, he'll tell me about the spoon, and the spoon unlocks the door to the dungeon. Okay?
It does. The flowchart is key, and it's really hard to do in, like, Microsoft Word. Trust me, take my word for it. Sometimes you got to break out that old pen and paper.
Yeah, but I would highly suggest it for anybody who's doing it. What was the game system that you were looking at that had the really cool flowchart?
Oh, City of Mist.
Oh yeah, City of Mist has like an iceberg kind of flowchart where it starts small and then it works itself wide and then you get to the center. Because at some point your mysteries are eventually going to be so again, by the time your players figure it out, they are on the path then, and they will complete the mystery. If they're on the path, every part of the evidence that you give them beyond there, even if you have more steps in that path, have now been, this is the only way to do it. This is the only way to do it. Okay. And it'll be evident to your players that they aren't being cheated about that. It will just be clear that, like, we're just on point. We just know what's going on.
Damn, we're just really good.
Okay. If you've executed your mystery really well, at the end of it, when they start following the final bits of it, it'll be like they're on a linear path to your end.
Yeah.
So
I mean, once they start moving downhill, they should start tumbling. You know, it's, you know, and really. Ooh, sorry, we have these new mics set up, and like I just keep,
Jared has no spatial awareness.
I have none. Like I just keep like kicking the bottom of it or tapping the top. So I'm clumsy. So, you know, the great thing about a mystery is that, you know, you really give your players something to dive into. There's multiple layers and there's multiple ways to get to the end. And I can't encourage storytellers enough to get into mysteries, you know, to really seek out and build something big. One of my things, although I will caution, if it is your first mystery, small. Look for little mysteries.
Go to our Running Your First Game podcast. Start small. Take the plane up, land the plane.
That's all you're looking to do. You know, and I've seen, and I guess I kind of wanted to end with kind of a warning for a lot of people who might be even experienced, had a little bit of experience with mystery and are just looking to sharpen their skills. This is a warning of do not attempt to recreate the Cthulhu mysteries. Okay? I've seen many a storyteller pitfall because they have attempted to recreate such a grand mystery that, for example, you know, with Cthulhu, it was done by several writers over the course of, I don't know, 20, 30 years. Do not overburden yourself because you'll never get done with that cake because it took them 30 years to build that cake with 8 different writers. Make sure your mystery is something compact. There is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end. And that's really what you need to bring. And then once you've got that foundational beginning, middle, end, I've got the clues. I've got the witnesses. I've got the fun action parts every time. Then you can really start being like, do I want to take this deeper? And then you can start having a lot of fun with it.
Then you can build mysteries on top of mysteries.
Mysteries on top of mysteries that contain mysteries, like the riddle of the Sphinx.
Exactly. We'll tell you about that one later.
Do we have one? A riddle of the Sphinx?
Perhaps.
Oh. Someone's getting devious, huh? Jump, Froggy, jump.
Well, anyways, do you have anything else, Jared?
No, that's all I've got for today.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the episode. If you liked the episode, please subscribe to the podcast if you aren't already, or tell a friend about the podcast. Tell your gaming group about the podcast. Maybe your players really like listening to people talk about how to run podcasts, want to learn how to run a podcast. That's what this podcast is for. Hopefully, we can help you hone some of your skills. But you can get in contact us at levelupyourgamingpodcast@gmail.com. Send us your questions, comments, any feedback that you want to give us. Or follow us on facebook.com/levelupyourgamingpodcast. Level Up Your Gaming. Facebook.com/levelupyourgaming. Don't put the podcast at the end of it.
Don't do that.
And until next time, for Jared, I'm Aaron. Have a great week, guys.
Have a great week, everyone.